From a troubled youth to a powerful gang leader, Maurice Boucher's journey is one of violence, betrayal, and ultimate downfall. Join us as we delve into the life of the most brutal Hells Angels still active today. Born on June 21, 1943, Boucher grew up in poverty with 7 siblings. Unfortunately, he didn't have an easy start in life, but that's no excuse for the path he chose to take. After dropping out of school in the 9th grade, he worked in construction with his dad for a bit. But it turns out he wasn't cut out for that kind of backbreaking work, so he turned to drugs instead. At first, it was just marijuana, but as his addiction grew, he escalated to harder drugs. Boucher's involvement in crime also grew, and he resorted to theft to finance his drug habit. He was arrested for the first time in 1974, and the trial that followed dragged on for a year, ultimately resulting in a 40-month prison sentence. While he was behind bars, the biker scene in Quebec went through a significant shift. The question is, did Boucher use his time in jail to reflect on his past actions and plan a different path forward? Or did he continue down the same path upon his release, making even more evil connections in the criminal prison underworld to further his plans? What do you think? Well, let's find out. During that period, the Hells Angels were aggressively expanding, and they had set their sights on Canada as their next conquest. Among their infamous leaders was Yves Trudeau, who spearheaded the campaign. The Hells Angels swiftly ascended to the top of Canada's drug trade and established an unrelenting hold on the criminal underworld. Although Boucher belonged to the right-wing biker gang, the SS, he stood out as a vicious and feared member among his peers and even the authorities. However, in 1984, Boucher was arrested for sexual assault and thrown behind bars for 40 months. It was during his time in custody that he decided to switch sides and join the Hells Angels, the winning team with the pole position in the drug trade. Boucher was hungry for power, and he knew that the Hells Angels would give him what he wanted. But fate had other plans. Another gang, the Rock Machine Nomads, had declared war on the Hells Angels, changing the balance of power in the drug trade. The streets were no longer safe, and the Hells Angels had to tread carefully. But Boucher was not one to shy away from a fight. He knew that the Hells Angels needed a hero, and he was ready to step up and be that hero. That's exactly what he did. He murdered a rival biker, earning the respect and admiration of his fellow gang members. Boucher had finally proven his worth, and he had become a respected member of the Hells Angels. But was this really the right choice? Should he have really killed that guy? And will the Hells Angels' ruthless expansion and thirst for power ultimately lead to their downfall in Canada? Or will they maintain their firm grip on the underworld? Foreign gang members were struck down by the double-edged sword of betrayal and power struggles. The gang's leader fled on a warrant, leaving behind a gaping void of leadership. To add salt to the wound, Yves Trudeau, one of the most powerful and feared rockers in the country, turned state witness. This left the once mighty Hells Angels in a vulnerable and desperate state. But amidst the chaos, one man emerged as a true warrior ready to fight and claw his way to the top. Maurice Boucher. In 1987, Boucher ascended to the throne of the Hells Angels, determined to strengthen his gang by any means necessary. He began by bringing small rocker clubs under the Hells Angels banner, offering them the protection and support of the larger organization in exchange for their loyalty. Boucher also sought to expand the gang's influence by engaging in illegal activities such as drug trafficking, extortion, and violence. Under Boucher's leadership, the Hells Angels became more powerful and more violent. They were involved in a number of high-profile incidents, including the killing of a prison guard in 1997 and a bloody war with rival gang, the Rock Machine, in the late 1990s. Boucher himself was known for his aggressive tactics and his willingness to use violence to achieve his goals. However, Boucher's reign as the leader of the Hells Angels was short-lived. In 2000, he was arrested and charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and drug trafficking. The charges were related to a string of murders that were allegedly ordered by Boucher as part of a power struggle within the Angels. Boucher was found guilty on all charges in 2002 and sentenced to life in prison. His conviction was seen as a major blow to the Hells Angels, as it demonstrated that even their leaders were not immune to the law. Despite this setback, however, the gang continues to operate today, with an estimated 800 members in Canada and chapters in dozens of other countries around the world.